Alright, this is 7th Ace, and this is the official video to go with the Probes vs. Zealot pool build guide that you'll see in the description. Game already starts, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. I'll have the notes at the bottom right to go with the video, and I'll scroll through it as we're going through. So immediately, you need to read that to start, whatever. That's up to you. But we're going to start the game and get a Gen 1 Zealot shop. Then you go to your base preference. I love the middle right. It fits our base size correctly, does what we need. I'm going to grab high speed and cloak as my abilities. And then I'm going to run over here and rebuild my generator. Now Coco actually throws a little wrench in this and builds in our base. So my backup spots go right there. He's nice and actually moves out. Most of the time, people just get stubborn and stay there. So we're already going to be a couple seconds behind going into this, but it's a D-rank Zealot, so we're not too worried. So right now, following the current goals, we want to work towards a generator max, and doing it very, very quickly. This is a part that's been fleshed out fully. I can't see a way to do it better, but obviously it can happen. So we're going to be hidden throughout this, so you won't see Gunny, but Gunny is right here. And I'll be right here. I'm sending all my money to him, and he upgrades to Generator 3. We're using the Send menu, which is not available in the... can I please? We're using the Send menu, which is not available in the replay, but if we do a first-person recording, we will. I'll show you what we do, so you can see how the build actually flows in an actual game. So we're already moving up Gen 3, pretty much normal. Just swap out money, do the proper thing. Audio for the game will be cutting in and out as I click to the notes window here. So, yep. So we've got our in-game time. It's going to be a little bit delayed here because we've got Coco that originally got in our way, so, yeah. My camera will be the one we use to start, although I think I might move to Gunny's later as it gets a little busy for what I do. Alright, so we're on Gen 4 to 5. He auto builds an ultra wall, salvages out, sends it to me. Can build an ultra wall at the front to play safe, but Coco's got his generator there. I'm going to upgrade and send it on back. Send all the gas back. So I'm watching that. But you see my resources continue to drop to 0, so I'm sending the resources to him through the resource send menu. That's what happens when my camera isn't moving or zooms in, because you use a mouse wheel to roll. So, yeah. First thing of note here, we both have chrono. Is this one where I hold my chrono, or the next one? I don't know. So I should hold my chrono here and chrono his generator here, but a slight misplay because we're a little bit behind. Normally you can make that one happen pretty easily. I also like spamming hotkeys, so don't worry about that in the slightest. So, we get generator 6s by about 4:10 usually. We're a little behind due to the delay early on from being blocked out of the base, but that's fine. I'll show you how you can get just a perfectly fine time without having to actually do well. So there goes his chrono. I delay mine until mine's good to go. And now I'm going to switch over to Gunny's point of view. You build 8 turrets here. So I'm going to take free cam here. You're going to build 8 turrets here and make sure they don't shoot until, at all. So you can put them on hold fire if the Zealot scanned you. This will keep your 28 turret buff, even though it says turret 2 no longer counts towards total. Basically, the game doesn't update. It doesn't update what a turret buff is until a certain amount of time into the game. And that's this section here on the turret part. Now Gunny will move over to the gold here. And he's going to work the market prices. So you'll see his resources at the top right fluctuate. He's going to get 2 professional miners and then go for the wall upgrades. So there's that. Well, I send him money. And he's going to work on the wall upgrades. That's why, because I've got health bars disabled. Whatever, I'm going to leave it like that for now. He's got that. I'm going to walk down here and chrono out his generator upgrade in the 64. At that point, I should have already salvaged these turrets and started upgrading. I was a little behind on that. That's okay. Switching back over to my camera. My resources. There's the wall generator upgrade. Actually, I'm going to turn on. What happened to these? It's very strange. All my settings got nuked. It's fine. I'm going to turn on my health bar. So, you can see we already have 2 generators. Same time Coco has 1, so that's good. I've tossed all my resources back to Gunny, so we're going to go back to the Gunny cam over here. He's going to put down 2 more pro miners as I continue to fail to scroll down the page, but that's why there's the forum post. And he's going to work towards a mega wall and just do the general turret upgrading things. No turret buff active yet, although I will start doing it. I will be, again, Ace, going to be working on it from there. I'm player A, he's B in the guide. I hope I mentioned that. I did in one of the recordings, but I might have forgotten it in this one. Whatever. Gonna get some Mega Wall. I take some lever funds. Okay, so this is lever funds. So we salvaged out his stuff. It goes into an imaginary pool of resources that all players can use. So that's what Coco's saying is, damn, you used it. I ended up getting a lot of money out of that. Threw us back onto our normal timings. So now I go ahead, get the Mega Wall, get a market. So I'm going to build 8 turrets, and that's going to give me a 28 turret buff. That works before, I think, 9 minutes. 9 or 10 minutes. Slide down here. So there you go. That's that part here. We upgrade that. As soon as you upgrade the Mega Wall to Mega Wall 2, salvage these out. Boom. Get that up to Generator 9, salvages out. Send it back to Gunny. Whoever's at the gold should retreat now. Build the Mega Wall and get the hell out. Make sure to, again, watch for angry zealots that want to stab you. Player A comes back and turret buffs, so don't send all the money back. Go ahead and turret buff here. When player B, who I'll refer to as Gunny most of the time, gets Mega Wall 3, that's when you salvage out the turrets and go for max. So, it's right here. There we go, Mega 3, turret salvage. Gunny receives money, balance the minerals and gas perfectly, and boom. Upgraded the wrong thing, that's okay. 1030 max, easy. Drop a collection depot here, and Mega Wall at the front for player A, Ace, me, whoever. Get them up to max, then go for an Ultra Miner. So we're through here. We're going to be, you might have to buy minerals here. Probably going to end up staying on my dedicated camera here pretty soon. Use whatever wall, hold off the Zealot, accidentally chronoed Coco. This is ironic. He's telling us how to do the guide, which is on SC2 Gump, only because we've posted it now. So there's an Ultra Miner here. It's a little delayed. And both players should now turret buff. This is an optional step, though. I usually only turret buff, but both players should pump 5 Automine Constructors. The first 5 Automine Constructors are all going to be Automine 4s. The next ones are going to be Automine 5s. The next ones are going to be Automine 6s. So, salvage out. Ace has exact amounts of money. We were within just a couple thousand of 70,000, which is great. So now we've got approximately equal income. So if we switch over to the Resources tab, Gunny and I have approximately equal minerals and approximately equal income. He's got the gold base, which gives 8 more out of 36, which is pretty small but not negligible. So we're going to use this knowledge to make sure we'll stay on pace and send resources to each other at the right time. So A is responsible for the wall and turret, so I will now be responsible for all of this, and Gunny's going to go pure econ. So this is where the build deviates from what we originally did. You won't know that, but here we go. There's 4,000 minerals. Sell the prices. You can do market playing to make this go a little bit faster. Stuff like that. So it's important to read the current goals section for each one of these, because that tells you what we think. We don't follow do this, do this, do this. We just have goals. So the goal right now is to get all automine 5 automine 4s for both of us. There's all the money going to Gunny. You can see we're a little short. There you go. And at 3 approximately, we're going to have enough total resources, just tabbing through, we have about 100k each, to be able to go for a legendary miner. So I'm going to give the call, and eventually we're going to say go, and we're going to salvage out all the turrets, which are worth 32,000, and hit the legendary timing. Just holding gas, holding gas. Sometimes minerals and gas can happen at the same time. It's kind of tough. So we salvaged, go build a 4, send the gas to Gunny. I was actually very delayed. And we're good to go. We had 7,000 over out of 300,000. Margin of error is about less than 3%. That's excellent. 1550 legendary miner. Cool. And we're going to re-turret buff, and this is going to be a common theme, is to get something, re-turret buff, salvage it all out for the next 5-10 minutes. So Gunny's now going to build the rest of his auto mines. I'm going to get all of mine. I'm going to ask for minerals at this section because it's a little bit faster for me to build mine, and I have the faster turret buff right now. Because it's easier for him to send 3,000 something than it is for me to, or it's a little bit faster for him to send that to me than wait for his 4K. But it's just a matter of timing. So after I put those down, we're going to go ahead and build 5 more auto miners, and we're going to prepare for my legendary miner. So here we go, sliding down, do a turret buff check, make sure sheet urine generator, that's strats. And we have way more than enough. We should be salvaging by now. I think we screwed this up in our run. Yep, we're going to be way over. So he sends it to me, and we flubbed up. He sent that and still had 30,000 spare. So we flubbed that up. That was a slow legend miner. Now I'm going to open the resource tab. What I'm going to try and do is calculate the resources so that we have both the same amount. His gold's been lost, so we have the exact same mineral income. See right here. Once he puts up or gets rid of his turret buff. So I have all the resources. There we go. We're close, but not quite right now. So this is the trade approximately 8k minerals section. So what we're going to do, turret buff up, and then get exactly the same amount of resources to each other. So there we go, a little bit more. So we're not quite even for the 8Ks yet, but when you get into an 8K rhythm, it gets very, very good. I think we do that next. We're also going to save gas until a perfect miner. So if I go here, we have a combined wealth of about 260, 300K. Here we go, minerals over. He says all the minerals. And now I know my difference factor. So when he sends everything, I know exactly how much I have over, so I can calculate it. So I can calculate what I need to send this time to make it perfectly even, which the difference is about 1100. So send, boom, right there. And he's able to build. And we have nearly even amounts. You can be even as long as you're within one of your highest miner's resource cycle. So for example, the legend gives 256 minerals, 216 minerals per trip, so being within 200 of each other's even. I was a little early. There we go. Perfectly even now. So it's easy to send 8K. Gunny and I now have enough money. We should be able to salvage the turrets. Gunny, please salvage your turrets. Thank you very much. Our total resources now combine to 1 million. And he's got enough for an automine 5, so we're going to put that down. Gunny will now stay cloaked to give the perfect buff. And yep. He'll now stay cloaked to keep the perfect buff. While I will continue to turret buff for now. I'll actually turret throughout this entire game. So we have currently, player B is starting to build, finishing automine 5s, starting automine 6s, and this is where it gets very, very quick. We're going to both start sending resources back to each other very, very quickly. So I'm going to pump out these. He sent me minerals for the automine 5s. And he's going to start working on minerals towards automine 6s. We're going to build these on this right side, so the autochronos, when we put our probes over here, hit them instead of the generators. I obviously didn't do that. I do that when I get mine down. So Gunny has a majority of minerals here, and this is where I'm going to have a low amount of resources, but then suddenly get a perfect amount. That was absolutely wonderful of a send. Also going to go ahead and salvage out, receive the gas, get a perfect miner. And from there we're going to switch out. He'll get a perfect miner, I get a perfect miner. He'll get a perfect miner, I'll get a perfect miner. Until we get automine 8 when it's too fast to do that. We're going to keep swapping with the 6s. So there you go, he'll build a 6. And we're constantly asking each other about how much gas we have, how many minerals we have to make sure to stay in time. That was, again, brilliant send. Gets me right at 65k minerals for that automine 6. Gas should be going to Gunny pretty soon. We have 500k and 400k. I salvage out the turrets. Boom. A little bit slow, actually, but within 10% is a good error margin, pretty much in all cases. There goes an automine 6, so now that's 3 for each player. I've done some periodic Zealot checks. Zealot is not scary. Now, M1M, by the way, will always send all of your minerals. But if you try like V1M or any number that's over what you have, you end up sending 64% of your gas because of attacks and a pain, and it causes a whole bunch of issues. So you cannot send over the amount of gas, but you can send over the amount of minerals. So we've now got 5, well, I've got 4, but we'll have 5 automine 6s each. We're going to skip 7s. 7s are exactly the same as 6s in every way. They give exactly 4 times as much, take up exactly 4 times as much space, and cost 4 times as many resources. So there's no point in building them. So we're going to skip immediately to automine 8 while switching out resources here. So I should be receiving gas here pretty soon. Sent me 400k, I'm going to get 100k more. Boom. Perfect out. We're going to keep doing this. All the way up. So once we both have perfects, it'll start, becomes the most hectic part. I think the most hectic part is honestly the 6s and the perfect switching. There's gas to him while preparing the salvage on the generator. We like salvaging the generator for the automine 8. I have also not moved the notes, but that's fine. It's fine. So, that's what's going on. I guess I've taken more manual control of the camera because it's a real pain to watch from my point of view. 500k minerals or gas over here, so I've got my fourth perfect out. Don't forget to toss out your two miners, your two lesser miners, when you start getting more perfects. There's the automine 8. And don't forget, if you keep the gold, to toss out the gold base before you max out on 14 perfects and a looty. So, sliding on down, follow the goals, we're going to get up to 14 miners. So this is where it's a little shaky because he's got a massive income. This gives 32,000 a second, where mine only gives 512. So he's got a significant income advantage and can pump perfects a lot faster than I can, at least until I get my own automine 8. But we'll work on that. So Gunny's sending resources over to me to be able, so I can stay approximately even. I have tossed out my Ultra and Legend miners. Gunny will do that pretty soon. There goes my automine 8. Boom. Cool. So now we're going to build perfects on our own time. So we have so much income that trying to swap perfects is too difficult. So we're just going to work on perfects on our own and swap minerals with each other. I actually tried to cheese out a send there. That's pretty funny. See, it barely works. We're already at 600k again. However, you do need to switch minerals because that's a lot less. And he'll be preparing for... There's another automine. Cool. Doubling up his income again. At some point here, you'll salvage out the lesser mines as well, so these will go boom for space issues, and I think the 512s go as well. So there's perfect pumping, and we're going to pump all the way up to 14 out of 15 on perfects, because building an incremental income is better than saving for one big thing. That's something that's changed. So we're working on Ludicrous Miner to maxing out in just a minute. Right now we're just working on getting 14 perfect miners each while switching automine 8s. So we're going to fill all of this space up while leaving a walking path around. Gunny's at 14 miners. I'm at 13. Now I'm at 14. Well, as soon as I build something, I was sending. So now we're going to save for Ludicrous, because getting a Ludicrous is better, getting it earlier is better than getting repositories, because those are too expensive. So, moving down to the Ludicrous Miner to maxing out section. We'll send to Gunny, that should give us enough. Boom, Ludicrous Miner is now going out. Then we're going to get my Ludicrous Miner, while again, trading up 8s. So there's my third automine 8. Gunny's going to have 3. We've tossed out the 4s. We're going to toss out the 5s. And we're going to get one more automine 8 each. So we've got about 7 million. Gunny's got almost enough for an automine. There you go. So that's the 4th automine for me. Where's Gunny's 4th? Oh, it's right there. There's my Ludicrous. Now we're going to swap 2 million gas at a time. What this is going to do is allow us to build a repository and all of our perfects by pooling instead of doing it separately, which is slow. So we're going to pump out more repositories, or more gateways, so we can build our stuff faster. And you can even build it outside the bases necessary. Because you're going to build a repository and then queue up a bunch. In fact, you'll queue up all 5. I'm going to go to my camera for this. So you'll see this. I've got them on hotkey 3. And I built 3 of them. and then I will build 2 more once I have the resources, and then I'm going to send back to Gunny. That's going to get our extra miners out just that much faster. I should probably be cloak buffed at this point, but I flubbed it. It's not a big deal because it's still gas towards our other perfects. At some point, though, it becomes less worth it. You should also chrono boost the ludicrous miners, but that's tough because it's manual. So there we go. Gunny should be sending to me now. I put down my repository, and I'm going to queue up my perfect so you can see the 3 down here. I built a 7 for achievement horn. Coco stole it from me. He's kind of a jerk. So I've got all of them queued up. 25 out of 25. Send the resources back to Gunny. That was the wrong resource. And Gunny's now going to build into Gunny is now going to build into his last repository. Chrono boosting the Ludi and then pumping perfect, so they're all queued up. And he's got 4 now and 5. So that'll go to 30 food. And then it's going to come back to me, and by that time you should be looking for a final turret. So salvage it out, get that last extra mineral income, pull up the resources tab. We're at 10 million and 5 million. So bridge the gap at 7.5 million. I'll send to him. Send to Gunny, and we will have a final turret in 36 minutes and some change. So keeping it focused over here. I'll keep the resources tab up. Both of us are completely maxed, have incomes off the charts. And this is what your final base will look like. 10 6s and 4 or 8 8s each with a bunch of repositories of forge, and what will be a shiny new final turret. So that covers basically the entire build down to the guide I've posted. Hopefully that's a little bit easier of a visual way to do it. Boom. Less than 100,000 over. 3614 final turret. Game's over. From there, you can do whatever, but I think Coco just obliterates the Zealot right here, so that's kind of rude. But you can take this base, wall here, and win by blocking off all 6 bases. Stuff like that. Pretty cool. So, we will possibly work on a first-person VOD, just so you can hear how the build works in real time, but besides for that, this game's over. Zealot's going to go splat. Zealot is definitely going to win. There's no chance. There's no chance that the Zealot will not survive. Or that the Pros will not survive. I actually want to get a little cheeky. I don't know why I built a turret 1. Oh, he didn't scan us all game, so I wanted to reveal where we were. The Zealot actually had no idea where we are. Which I think's rather hilarious. Who's the Zealot? Who's yellow? Yeah. He doesn't know we exist. That's funny. So yep, that's it. Thanks for watching.